Both celebration and anger in the Arab world marked the killing of Hezbollah leader Nasrallah in an Israeli airstrike on the Hezbollah headquarters in Beirut, Lebanon on September 27. Besides killing 3 other top Hezbollah commanders, an Iranian Revolutionary Guard general too was killed in the bombing. The celebrations have been taking place not only in the Arab world, but also by Arabs elsewhere in the world. These celebrations come as a surprise to many, but for several reasons it should not. Welcome to News Blitzer. First, let's take a look at the celebrations in the Arab world. The first ones to start celebrating even before Nasrallah's death was confirmed were the Syrians, with even mosques welcoming the death of Nasrallah and Syrians gathering in different cities of the country to celebrate Nasrallah's death. Syrians danced on the streets, distributed sweets at traffic signals, held rallies and fired in the air in many cities to celebrate. There are reports that the Iran-backed Bashar Assad regime in Syria was in no position to contain the widespread jubilation as the country is torn with a civil war, and there is no real control that Assad has over vast territories in Syria. The next nation where there were celebrations worldwide is Lebanon, where Hezbollah is headquartered. As in Syria, mostly Sunni Muslims and Christians distributed sweets in the streets, with celebrations marked by intense discussions going on into the wee hours of the morning. In some parts of Lebanon, Hezbollah cadres who tried to take a rally after Nasrallah's death were beaten up by the people and sent away. Surprisingly, and this is something that most people would not have expected, is that Palestinians in the West Bank and in Gaza too celebrated the death of Nasrallah. Palestinians were seen not only welcoming the death of Nasrallah, but also burning Syrian President Assad's pictures. What's more is that the Sunni outfit in Gaza, Al-Sunnah, too welcomed the death of Nasrallah through a public broadcast by Sheikh Majdi al-Moghrabi. This is what the Sheikh said.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. قال ربنا سبحانه وتعالى: فقطع دابر القوم الذين ظلموا والحمد لله رب العالمين. قال الزمخشري رحمه الله: وفيه إذان بوجوب الفرح بهلاك الظلمة. واليوم هذا اليوم يعني الذي نعى فيه حزب الله رئيسه وقائده حسن نصر الله، بالنسبة لنا أهل السنة يوم عيد ويوم فرح ويوم سرور. والله لولا أننا نمر بظروف.
Many Iranians who oppose the Iranian regime and consider Hezbollah an arm of the regime too celebrated the death. The celebrants in Iran included women who celebrated the passing away of Nasrallah in Persian Nowruz style, while others celebrated in public wherever possible and in private elsewhere. That's not all. Iranians have also celebrated abroad. In UK, Iranians gathered in front of the Israeli embassy to celebrate. Similarly, Iranians in Canada celebrated the assassination, distributing sweets and other confectionaries. Of all these celebrations, the most extensive celebrations took place in Syria due to a number of reasons. The nation is a Sunni-dominated one, but ruled by Shia elite with support from Iran. Besides the fundamental inherent majority-minority conflict which is at the heart of the civil war, the reason the Syrians hate Hezbollah is because of the death and destruction Hezbollah-trained cadres in Iran have wreaked on the nation. The civil war to overthrow the minority Shia regime has led to over 200,000 Syrians being killed and over 1.2 million displaced. It all started when in 2011, Hezbollah, under Iranian instruction, intervened in the civil war to oust President Assad. They sent fighters from Lebanon as well as Iran to support President Assad, who remains in power entirely due to this support. That's not all. Under orders from the Assad regime, the Iran-backed extra-state actors have been terrorizing local populations opposed to the regime, arresting people randomly and indulging in extrajudicial killings and imprisonment. Syrians are also angry with Hezbollah because of its hypocrisy in supporting the Gaza war. This is because Hezbollah is supporting the Hamas because they are fighting Israel, a common enemy of many Muslims, but at the same time killing Syrian Muslims in Syria. They cannot accept such moral duplicity. But following the death of the Nasrallah and most of the Hezbollah leadership eliminated, a bulk of the Hezbollah units and Hezbollah-trained outfits in Syria have been completely thrown out of gear. This weakens the Assad regime and offers the opposition hope of getting rid of the regime, even as majority Sunni militant outfits continue to fight the pro-Assad forces. with the Hezbollah chain of command in Syria too being affected after the elimination of most of the top leaders of Hezbollah in Lebanon. The Sunni outfits are now emboldened to wage more effective attacks on the regime's forces. Israel has already been bombing Iranian and pro-Assad militants operating in Syria. The reasons why Syrians are jubilant over Nasrallah's death are the same ones why Muslims in the other parts of the Arab world are celebrating. Other than Shia nations that are few in number, neither Iran nor Hezbollah have any support from the rest of the Sunni-dominated Arab world. Privately, most of the Arab leaders would be glad that Nasrallah has been eliminated, as Nasrallah was the terrorist and the axis of Iran's axis of terrorism. Meanwhile, while the Western world too is glad that Nasrallah has been eliminated, though they have not said so in so many words, they have merely called for a ceasefire and prevention of further escalation of war. However, President Biden was more forthright in welcoming the death of Nasrallah. In a statement, Biden said Nasrallah's death is a measure of justice for his many victims, including thousands of American, Lebanese, and Israeli victims. He further went on to assert America's support for Israel to fight Hezbollah, Hamas, and all Iran-backed terrorist groups in the region. Israel President Netanyahu, on the other hand, has publicly accepted responsibility for the killing of Nasrallah, while also saying the changed equations provides Israel an opportunity that Israel cannot afford to squander. This is what he said.
ולמשטר האייתולות אני אומר, מי שיכה בנו, אנחנו נכה בו. אין מקום באיראן או במזרח התיכון שהזרוע הארוכה של ישראל לא תגיע אליו. והיום אתם כבר יודעים כמה ישראל בתנופה. אנחנו מנצחים. אנחנו נחושים להמשיך להכות באויבינו.
In his press meet, Netanyahu has categorically said that no one responsible of the Hamas October 7th attack on Israel, which killed over 1,200 civilians and on-leave soldiers, is safe. Some commentators are interpreting this as a direct threat to the Khamenei and his Islamic Council, which is why the commentators say Khamenei has been moved to an unknown location. The situation is a developing one marked by threats and counter-threats from all sides, and it is to be seen how the situation further develops. After the Nasrallah bombing, Israel killed another top Hezbollah leader in Beirut and launched a blistering attack on the Houthis in Yemen, who launched a drone that killed an Israeli in Tel Aviv, destroying crucial Houthi infrastructure and 2 ports. We'll keep you informed of further important developments. If you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to this channel to remain updated on the developments in the Middle East and the rest of the world. Thank you for watching this video.